everything that happens in the criminal justice system.
All right, so if the police pull you over and you seen where they people roll their window down a little bit and they stick this little paper up out of the window and they're talking about they're a sovereign nation. How will the police break that down in court?
The police will not recognize you as a sovereign nation.
Yes.
What they will recognize is the Fourth Amendment of the Constitution, which requires them to be reasonable in their detentions, which they need not probable cause, but a reasonable suspicion that you have committed a violation of the law. Probable cause would step in if they need to search or arrest. But they will recognize those concepts of the Fourth Amendment in our Constitution because that would be the federal law of the land, no matter what state you're in.
So for the most part, that sovereign stuff is bullshit.
It is. It's then the Jefferson State and all that kind of stuff. It's all bullshit. It's basically what it is white guys who want to isolate themselves from society here. So they want to call themselves something else and be recognized as some new group, some new nations who's now fighting the government because the government helps people too much.
And all the while, you'd be sitting in the car talking about sovereign nation and they ready to bust that window and drag you out.
You should do what I say when it comes to knowing your rights in that situation. Yes, you should have your license and your registration and your proof of insurance.
Yes.
But as a response to any question, the cop says, any question, you should say 5 words, which is, am I free to leave?
Am I free to leave?
Because the answer to that would dictate whether the Fourth Amendment has been kicked in or not.
Right.
If you're not free to leave, you are now detained.
And they have to have probable cause to detain you.
They have reasonable suspicion to detain you.
Right.
Probable cause to go further. And if they say you're free to go, you go. And that's your right. Under the Constitution, applies to everybody. So not just anybody, but everybody.
So, and just so you guys think, we're not just talking to know anybody. How long have you been an attorney?
Over 28 years.
28 years.
I've done about 175 jury trials.
175 jury trials.
You name it. Complex ones, you name it. A lot of them, you would look up in the paper, you'll see. You know, I do a lot of stuff.
You represent like across the country or
no, just
Sacramento?
Sacramento, California. Because your bar will, every state will have their bar exam.
Right.
So you are licensed to practice state by state.
Do you know your record?
Yep.
What's your record?
I got a little assault with a deadly weapon back in '83.
So you actually got caught? You actually got an assault with a deadly weapon?
I had a good lawyer. I had a brilliant lawyer in Vallejo, California.
Yeah.
I have a street in my neighborhood named after him.
Yeah.
Lewis.
Lewis
Brown.
Street.
Lewis Brown.
Right.
Yeah, his whole family were big time people, but they lived right around the corner from us because all the black people lived in the same area.
Right.
Vallejo was very segregated in that time.
So in my civilian mind, I would think automatically, because I have an assault with a deadly weapon on my record, that I cannot become a prominent criminal defense attorney.
You can do anything you want to do. The state bar will look at it and they can ask you about it.
Right.
Depending on how recent it is and whether it's a nexus, what they say, to the law, practicing law. Like if it's fraud and all that kind of stuff, it's more like practicing law. But all they'll do is look at it. You just be up front. You tell them that it's there. And they have to decide whether they're going to let you in. And they don't usually they don't deny you because you got it.
Right.
You have to do something else. Like
you got to show them something. Oh, here, you got to twist a little bit.
You got to lie, too.
Yeah.
I mean, another brother here that I know, that I told you about, he's practicing law now. He did 17 years. There's lawyers who've been in prison. They come out, or people who go to prison come out, continue to practice law.
Man, that's what's up.
Yeah.
Okay, so to switch pages.
All right.
What is some of the most common mistakes that you see? Because I heard that a lot of the mistakes that criminals make, or people that are committing crimes, a lot of the mistakes that they make are like in the first few minutes.
That's right. That's why when you know your rights, you capture your power.
Okay.
And here's why.
Right.
When I say, am I free to go?
Right.
They may say, it may be a felony stop. They may have a gun at you. But am I free to go? You're going to say no. What happens is now you are detained. In fact, you are arrested. So now your Fifth Amendment right kicks in.
Right.
Whereby you should say, I want my lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what they do to you. But what you should do, once they do have you detained, is go where they want you to go. Do what they want you to do. Say nothing. Shut up.
Mm-hmm.
You're arguing about why they're there, what their motive is bullshit, because they don't have to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
So all that's going to do is turn the conversation now away from the Fourth Amendment back to consensual contact.
Mm-hmm.
And now anything you say will be used against you.
And they turn into a siphon and try to siphon everything that you give them.
What have I been doing? What do you think? All that stuff does nothing but increase the tension.
Right.
And you never want the tension.
Right.
All you have to ask is, am I free to go? I don't care if they're walking down the street. I don't care if you're in your car. Am I free to leave? If they say no, here's my license, and I want my lawyer.
Right.
That's it. Because I want my lawyer under the Fifth Amendment. When you assert that right, they must stop talking to you. Because people get confused. They keep saying, how come they didn't give me my right?
Right. I remember
give you your right.
I remember I was in a situation where they kept asking me, where's the gun?
Yeah.
And I said, am I under arrest? All they kept doing was putting their head down, then they would bring another police.
Because you were engaging in conversation. So you should have said, I want my lawyer. And then they couldn't even ask you no more.
Wow. So they really did violate my rights, because I asked for a lawyer. I asked, am I under arrest? They asked me about a gun. I don't know what you're talking about.
Once you ask for a lawyer, you have to continually ask. If you switch the conversation, I want my lawyer. And then later on, why am I under arrest? And you start talking, you've given it up. You have to maintain it.
Need my lawyer.
I want
need my lawyer.
Anything they say to you, can we do this? Can we do that? I don't consent to search, and I want my lawyer. I told you I want my lawyer.
Okay, so let me ask about this. So I was driving to Reno one time with my sister, right? We had smoked. Well, I didn't smoke, but they had smoked earlier, so the smell was kind of in the car.
Yeah.
So when the highway patrol pulls us over, he gave us a little 10-second check-in, but he told us that weed, if it is not in a sealed container, is just the same as driving with an open alcoholic container.
No, difference is alcohol. Now weed is legal.
Yeah.
So the way a cop assesses this is there are two kinds of weed.
Right.
There's weed new. There's weed burnt.
Weed new, weed burned.
If weed is new, meaning I smell new weed, ain't a burnt weed.
Right.
Calm down, because weed is legal.
Right.
I can carry 8 ounces in my back seat, right there, and it's legal. They'll never do anything about it.
Right.
You still assert your rights. Am I free to leave? I want my lawyer. Because just in case they get you trouble. Because weed is still federally against the law. Now,
burnt weed.
They don't see it because somebody smoked. All they do is use smell, right? That smell, though, can make them believe that somebody's been smoking, and it may be the driver. There is no crime of being under the influence of weed.
Really?
That's right.
That's right.
No crime of being under the influence of weed.
It's what you do while
if you drive, they could suspect you're a DUI. But here's the beautiful part. You always do a blood test, because it's impossible to tell how much weed in your system affects your ability to drive.
Wow.
It's impossible to tell.
So do they really have them weed test breathalyzer things now?
No, it's all bullshit. Lawyers are fighting against it. Voters should fight against it too. Here's the thing with the burnt weed, the problem.
Right.
The burnt weed may get your car searched, but here's what you do.
Right.
Even with the burnt weed, what you say is, am I free to leave?
Right.
Ask you, y'all been smoking weed? Am I free to leave? Hell no. I think somebody's smoking weed. And I want to search the car. You can't search the car. If he says, get out, I'm searching, you get out and let him search. If he finds burnt weed, it's legal, remember? So what that he found it? And it's not illegal to be under the influence of weed. Therefore, the only thing he could suspect is that you were driving and smoking. You never tell him, because you use your Fifth Amendment to say, I'm just going to shut up right now, and you do what you got to do. Don't do the field sobriety test. Go down and bleed.
So
all you gotta do is bleed for them.
So you can refuse you can refuse all them
tests.
tests.
You're not on probation for a DUI. Refuse all of that stuff.
That's knowledge right there.
See, because you don't have to do them. You always will lose. Always. Don't do them. They're doing them to collect evidence against you. When they're doing small talk, like, hey, where are you going? Why are you going here? You shouldn't even be at that point because the first thing you told them was, I want my lawyer and I'm shutting up. So they shouldn't even be asking those questions.
You shut them down from the gate.
That's right. When you look at the first 48, what you see is once a person says, I want my lawyer, they got to gather their shit and go.
So that's basically the biggest mistake that people make in engaging with the police.
Right.
Saying too much.
Because you see what happens, the cops will start breaking you down. Well, we just want to know where you at Kmart. Now you're going, I don't know, was I at Kmart? Should I say I'm at Kmart?
Yeah.
You say you were. That's where the crime was.
And all that thought process, they're watching your thought process.
They know more than you. And if they don't, they're fucking with you. So why are you giving somebody who's fucking with you a chance to fuck with you? The point I was trying to make was, it's a very simple process. You don't even have to read your 4th and 5th Amendment. If you exercise what I'm telling you now, you'll have the knowledge to confront any situation where you confront law enforcement. First thing is, am I free to leave? 5 words. If they say no, if you're on the ground and they're holding you, you're not going nowhere. Therefore, exercise the other right you have, which is shut the hell up. I'm not saying a word until my lawyer comes. No lawyer's going to come. Nobody's going to come through the windows and stuff like that. But what you are doing is preserving yourself.
Right.
You're preventing yourself from telling on you. Because we want to talk all the time. We want to ask questions. You don't ask questions with the cops. They'll tell you. Here's the result of it all. Cops come, they pull me out the car, they stop me, they say, hold on. I say, am I free to leave? They say no. I tell them I want my lawyer then. They want to search me, let them do it all. I don't give a shit if they find cocaine in the car. You, when they find it, say, I want my lawyer. You case, process, here you come, I'm your lawyer.
So
I see this, my first move is, you exercised your rights properly. Because you never admitted it was in the car. You never told them that somebody else left a bag in the car. And that's where the cocaine was. So, you now, for me, have a defense. We now can work with that. If they got you on the phone, oh man, they got this stuff, oh, I'll do this, talking all crazy, or telling them, oh, well, maybe it's my bag, maybe this, because you don't know everything.
Right.
They're going to get you. They're going to call that an admission.
So 2 things. The county jail phone getting people in trouble.
Recording. Everything they tell you.
They do. This is a
That's
county
right.
jail phone.
It
and
amazes me, people who have gone to jail more than once who start talking. Every visit. Every visit's recorded. Here's the other part. When you're making those phone calls too, they have cameras on you. So when you try to use another person's ex-ref and shit like that, they know who made the call.
Right. Yeah, I done heard
and
some
visiting up there too. They're watching when you put the paper on the thing. When
Yeah.
You're doing your code.
Yeah.
They're watching. And here's the thing people don't know. If you got a case that the DAs don't have a lot of shit on, the DAs are watching you because they're looking for you to rat, they're watching you 24/7. Every time the deputies are watching, they tell the deputies who to watch, who we need stuff from. Now here's how it works. Everything's recorded. Everything. It's in Georgia, big database. Everything's recorded. They just have to go back and say, give me the phone call this motherfucker made at this time, this time.
Wow.
That's why I call it, you releasing your CD in the jail.
Wow.
Because I'll get a CD of all your phone calls.
Wow.
And I gotta listen to every one of them, and you talking to baby mama, and you talking to.
Because you gotta make sure you
I'm
know what they
What
got.
the fuck did you say?
Yeah.
Because they had somebody listen. And when you up there going, hey mama, or hey baby, look, I'm really sorry. Hey, I didn't do this. Hey, why don't you get the thing? Why don't you do that? Then listen.
This is firsthand knowledge right here. It does exist. For y'all that don't know, it does exist. This is a lawyer and he has access to them phone records. So what you think gonna happen if the police want access to them phone records? What you think?
That's right.
So the other thing I wanted to ask is was there ever a time when you got pulled over by the police and you had to exercise them same rights, and how did it play out?
That's funny you would say that. When I came up here to go to law school, McGeorge is right in the middle of Oak Park.
Yep.
I didn't know that at that time.
Right.
Of what Oak Park was. But I learned really quick when I was driving around in a borrowed Prelude. Because the Prelude at the time was a hot car. It's like a Honda today.
Yeah.
Okay, it is a Honda. But I mean, it was hot.
Yeah.
Because it was the two-door speedster thing. I had borrowed from
Did
my
you have it
professor.
lowered?
Nah. This is my professor car in San Francisco.
Yeah.
I had come up here to come to law school.
Right.
They pulled me over. It was my birthday. So I had been out. It's 2 a.m.
Yeah.
They pulled me over. They came up. I just laid silent. And all they said was, "What are you doing?" I'm just laying silent. Why are you here? These cars get stolen. We just want to check what's going on. Because what I think they did was run the plate and realize this was a white guy who's registered owner of the car in San Francisco.
Right.
So they were waiting for me to say something. I didn't say anything. I gave them license, registration. And I just sat there. And they had to go back. They had to do their thing. They came back. They saw it wasn't stolen. You know, but they were curious. But I said nothing.
So that part is true. Like, you ain't got to say nothing, but just hand your driver's license and registration.
That's right.
Okay, that's true.
Check this out. 1983, the Supreme Court of the United States came out with a decision called People versus Royer.
People versus Royer.
R-O-Y-E-R. In that, the Supreme Court justices clearly state you never, ever have to talk to police officers. And your failure to do so is not a reason for them to detain you.
Right.
Pull up the case. Running on your shit right now. Pull it up. See, that's a quote from the justices of the United States, the Supreme Court of the land.
Wow.
So you got to know your rights. You ain't got to be a lawyer. Right?
Right.
Like Jay-Z said. Or like Jay-Z said in the song, right? I'm not a lawyer, but I know you're going to need a warrant to search that shit. What he was saying was, refuse any search. Shut the fuck up.
I remember in the pen, right? I learned how to use the Title 15. One of the older homies sat down. I didn't know nothing. He said, "Man, you about to learn this Title 15." And he taught me how to look up the penal code and see the violations. And man, I was a 602 right mofo when I figured out how to use it.
Become more valuable.
Yes. Nothing like there is nothing like knowing how to defend yourself and knowing your rights. That's why I felt
exercise them too.
And that's why I felt like what the knowledge that you have is so important, because it's somebody like me that had done most of my life inside. And I come out and a lot of life has passed you by. So you don't know about the new laws that have come into play. Like, I just talked to a homie that got out 2 weeks ago today, and I had to remind him, bro, you need to ask whoever you getting in the car with, is this car registered? You on probation or parole? Are you a gang member? You need to ask all these things. And then the importance of knowing if this car is registered is because they don't got to be behind you to pull you over. They can be 5 cars behind you and get a blip on this car. And you just going along for a ride to the store, and next thing you know, you in the world of shit. So there's things that update and laws that have changed that...
Now intersections have cameras. That record license plates. That go by. So if you do something, all they gotta do is put your license plate in the system. They'll know where your car has traveled. Your cell phones. Pinging everywhere. That's why you should never have your cell phone on unless you're using it. If you don't want people to track where you're going.
Yeah, I know.
It's 2-3 seconds to turn it off and back on.
Yeah, them ping towers, that was something that people didn't know about.
That's right.
Like, they was in for 10, 15 years, they come out, they don't know about these ping towers.
Technology that has now allowed law enforcement to find you without even knowing where you're at.
It's literally like it's unfair. It's like they use this stuff and corral you and put you right back where you belong.
Well, but that's because the prison industrial system makes a lot of money. They make a lot of money to lock people up. That's why we have private jails now.
Have they made it harder for you, being an African American lawyer, to get through certain yellow tapes?
No. I just bust through them.
That's right.
That's tape.
So, out of all the cases that you've won, what's the most high profile case that stands out?
it's hard to say. I mean, there was a murder case at IHOP a few years ago where a guy was shot right out front. The co-defendant went away for 51. My guy walked, and my guy was supposedly the one who shot at them first.
Wow.
He happened to be, the best part about it, he happened to be my nephew.
Wow.
His uncle was my godfather, and I grew up with my godfather.
Yeah.
And he was a young boy at the time, but I knew his family left and right. They were like my family.
Right.
And so the odds of me, which I was the only black lawyer in Sacramento who could ever be appointed to a homicide case,
right,
appointed to his case. So the odds of me being appointed to his case, and then we walked in the end.
Wow.
That was probably one of the best experiences, but I've got hundreds of them. You know, even when cases are dismissed before they get to trial.
Yeah.
It's the work that you do before that.
Do you get that? Do you get that win if it's dismissed before?
Oh yeah. Everything's a win. Sometimes, hell, you get 10 years versus you were looking at 40.
Right.
That's a win.
Right.
And it's the work you do in trial. You got to be a dead set trial lawyer.
Right. So, has there been a case where the defendant messed up so bad that you literally had to tell him, bro, you done blew the whole damn thing up. I don't even know what we gonna do. What we gonna do?
There's always those. But what I have learned to do is always make my lemonade where I gotta make it.
Right.
There's always something to pull from some case.
Yeah.
You watch for people, the DAs and others, to make mistakes in trial. In the middle of trial, a witness can do something for you.
Right.
And I'll give you a quick example because I gotta run.
Okay.
Had a guy who's looking at 21 counts of rape, right?
Wow.
Rape and other shit, right? It's a girl he knew. He over there trying to get the yammies, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Right? She's like, nah, you ain't getting them yammies, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when he comes on her, she just flips the phone thing off and hits 911. So it's all recorded on the phone.
Wow.
Cops show up because 911 saying, I don't know, I think she's getting raped. She's hollering, don't put it there, don't do this. They show up, knock, knock, knock. They come to the door. She's like, yeah, he's up there. They take it. We go to trial. Problem was, he had 2 strikes. So every count was 25 to life.
Wow.
So we had to go to trial. The victim got up on the stand. She was, let's just say, Kieth.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't realize I can go there.
Yeah.
Once she got up from the DA, because the DA, she's crying, Once I'm sitting here staring at her the whole time, just staring at her.
Yeah.
And then I get up and I just start hammering on her. You don't know what you're doing. You just made this up, didn't you? I started going ebonics on her. Right there in court. And everybody was like looking, what are you doing, Mr. Staten? What are you doing?
Wow.
It wasn't about me. It was about what she was doing in response. She started shaking her head. She started talking all kinds of shit to me right there on the stand. The jury, here's the best part. Out of all that, the 2 big things that they convicted him of were the 2 things he admitted on a phone call later in jail. Talking to her.
In jail.
He said, all right, I know you didn't want me to put it in the butt. All right, I know you didn't want me to do this. But they acquitted him of 19 counts of the 21 because they did not like her.
They hit him with sodomy?
They hit him with the 2, though, because he admitted it in jail. If he had shut the fuck up, we would have walked on the whole thing.
Let that be a lesson to you.
That's why I preach, shut the fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
It will never do you any good.
All right, so we're going to wrap this out, man. It's been a good fire interview with Kieth Staten, a top Sacramento prominent criminal defense attorney, man. Do you got anything you want to say? Like, do you want to send people to your YouTube channel or whatever you want to?
You can always find me. Google me. You'll find me here in Sacramento. Just Kieth Staten, Sacramento. The key is this. Anything ever happens to you, exercise your rights. Because if you don't, they're going to get fat and you won't like them anymore. Mm-hmm. So you wouldn't want that.
Exercise your rights or they're going to get fat.
That's right.
I like that.
That's right.
All right, man. Appreciate that.
All right.
For me, is that if it records, that's fine. But I don't want you holding anything.
No weapons. No weapons. All right. No.
Okay. So what I'm going to ask you to do is the same thing.
And get out of the car?
Yes.
No, I'm not getting out of the car.
All
you
right.
can go get your superior.
Well, I am going to tow this car, and you cannot be in the vehicle while I'm towing this vehicle.
Well, if you go get your superior, he'll clarify
right
that he can be set free because he does not have to have a license.
That's not going to happen right now, young lady. So either you're going to come out of the car, on your own free will, or I'm going to assist you.
You're
You're going to take the bag off.
No, I'm
You're going
not.
to take the bag off.
No, I'm not.